We're back in the Kokiri Forest because after the Forest Temple, when I ended up talking to all of the various childhood friends of Link here, I forgot to speak to another character. Perhaps not a childhood friend of Link's, but still someone very important. And that's Mido. Modo. Let's go Mido. Who was blocking our way to the Forest Temple when we first tried to travel to the Sacred Forest Grove. We had to play Saria's song to prove that we knew her, but he didn't recognise us, just like the other Kokiri. If we speak to him now, he actually has extra dialogue. Oh, I see. Saria won't ever come back. But I made a promise to Saria. If Link came back, I would be sure to tell him that Saria had been waiting for him. Because Saria really liked... Hey, you. If you see him somewhere, please let him know. And also, I'm sorry for being mean to him. Tell him that, too. So that's a really awesome little bit of character development, character growth for Mido. That even though he was kind of the bully of the Kokiri, he was the self-imposed boss of the Kokiri, he stopped us going to the Deku Tree before we could prove that we had a sword and shield. Even kind of told other Kokiri that the Great Deku Tree's death was because of Link. But here, he seems to have had some sort of growth to the point where he still doesn't recognise us as Link, but apologises for his past actions. But anyway, now we're back in the Lost Woods. I can use the shortcut to Goron City, but before I do that, I did also want to show off that Skull Kids appear in the Lost Woods as an adult as well. So these are the ones that we played a little Ocarina game with in the child era for a piece of heart. So there's those two here, and there's also, if I can do this without getting lost, there's also the main... Is it this one? The main Skull Kid here that we played Saria's song for a piece of heart. So it's cool that they appear as even in the adult timeline, and even though they were very friendly to children, we could speak to them, play annoying Ocarina games with them. As an adult, let's see what Navi says as the combat music plays. Is this what happens to kids who wander in the forest? It looks like he doesn't like grown-ups. And he doesn't. If we get too close, he attacks us with his flute. He fires some sort of pellets out of it, which is cool. And he is a full enemy. He's a little bit difficult to hit. He's a little bit slippery. But yeah, we can fight him. Okay, I shouldn't have spin attacked. I'll go and fight the other ones. Yeah, pretty much if you use your bow or spin attack or anything that isn't regular sword swings, I think they seem to disappear. But that probably works out for the best anyway, because these two are even more interesting, given that this one, or one of them at least, is the Skull Kid we gave the Skull Mask to in the child era, which is implied to be the very same Skull Kid who curses Termina in Majora's Mask. So, I guess even though we can kill them, there you go, and get... I forgot that was the other one. And get a big rupee, a gold rupee for it, which is 200. I guess even though we can do that, we didn't actually kill it. It just kind of vanished back into the woods or something, because it later appears in Majora's Mask. But yeah, really cool. And now we've done that, we can use the shortcut, the shortcut to get to Goron City, where when I last visited, I deliberately didn't speak to anyone here. Even though there aren't many people to speak to. As you can see, the shop is shut. Goron City is basically empty in this adult timeline, which is a bit creepy. So you see Darunia and the shop, both of their doors are shut. And in fact, the only Gorons here are Medigoron, the shopkeeper, who we can't visit yet because the door's shut, and this one Goron on an upper level of Goron City who's rolling around, just like in the past, was he called like Hot Roller Goron? Whoa, okay, yeah, we got this guy, this tiny little Goron here rolling around. So we need to stop him the same way with the bombs, and then we can hopefully find out what's been happening here. So I always find this a little bit finicky. Is that going to work? No, how did that not work? Can we try that? Okay, yeah, he gets scared if we go near him. So it's a little bit difficult to get the timing of this. I'm going to wait for him to enter the... Oh, also a Skulltula there I should grab. I'm going to wait for him to enter the tunnel, then throw. Maybe that'll work. Okay, that was too early, but that is dead on. Come on. No. Okay, we'll get him next time. Yeah, maybe the method is to just place and hope I get the timing right. Yeah, if I just place. Is that too early, isn't it? And he's gone back again. Okay. This one's the, you know, the 18 millionth time is the charm. Okay, this is the one. So I'm gonna place and roll. And I've got a contingency plan here, which is wrong. And he's rolled the other way. I wish I had bomb arrows. I wish I was playing Twilight Princess or Breath of the Wild. This would be a whole lot easier. Okay. But this is the one. This is the one. I've got faith. Come on. Yes! There we go. How could you do this to me? You're Ganondorf's servant. Hear my name and tremble. I am Link, hero of the Gorons. So that's strange. This is apparently Link. Let's speak to Link. What? Your name is also Link? Then you must be the legendary Dodongo Buster and hero, Link. My dad is Darunia. Do you remember him? Dad named me Link after you, because you're so brave. It's a cool name. I really like it. Link, you're a hero to us Gorons. I'm so glad to meet you. Please give me your autograph. Sign it, to my friend, Link of the Gorons. Oh, I guess it's not a good time to ask you for this. Please help everyone. My dad, Darunia, went to the fire temple. A dragon is inside. If we don't hurry up, even my dad will be eaten by the dragon. Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo. You'd better try and calm him down if you can. Maybe he'll calm down if you talk to him. What do you want to ask him? Ask about the dragon or ask about the Gorons? A long time ago, there was an evil dragon named Volvagia living in this mountain. That dragon was very scary. He ate Gorons. Using a huge hammer, the hero of the Gorons, boom! Destroyed it just like that. This is a myth from long ago, but it's true. I know because my dad is a descendant of the hero. Boo-hoo! Let's ask him about the Gorons. Everybody was taken to the fire temple. While my dad was out, Ganondorf's followers came and took them all away. All of them will be eaten by Volvagia. Dad said that Ganondorf has revived Volvagia. As a warning to those who might oppose him, Ganondorf is going to feed them all to Volvagia. Dad went to the fire temple all by himself to try to save everyone. Please help, Link. I'll give you this heat-resistant tunic. And we get, off Link, the Goron tunic, which we can see in the shop as the child era, same as the Zora tunic. For both of them, you've got options on how you want to get them. You can pay for them, or you can get them through interacting with these particular characters. But we'll put on our red tunic, which always looks very cool, especially with Link's red gloves. But do you have any other dialogue? Dad told me to not let anyone follow him to the temple, but only you, Link, can save everyone. I'm sure that the shop owner, who's hiding somewhere right now, will also help you. Now, I'll tell you about the secret passage to the fire temple. Try to move the statue inside Dad's room. Okay, thank you, Link the Goron. So, before we do that, I'm just going to try and grab this gold Skulltula that I didn't get before. Just kind of crawling here on the little podium pedestal thing that the... will this work? No, I think I have to climb up on the rope. That the Goron's ruby was stored in the past before obviously Darunia took it with him, and it was just an empty pedestal when we first arrived in Goron City. But yeah, from Link the Goron, we learned some pretty brutal lore about what's happened here to the Gorons. So Ganondorf, as a warning to any who might oppose him, so from that we can infer that the Gorons didn't take too kindly to Ganondorf, the King of Evil, claiming to be the King of Hyrule and, imposing his rule on everyone. And so Ganondorf has imprisoned all of the Gorons, except a very select few, inside the fire temple just nearby, and has revived the ancient dragon that lived there to feed them to it. But let's quickly speak to the shopkeeper, see if he's got any new dialogue. Oh no, everybody's gone. Only I was left behind. Okay. Yeah, alright, makes sense. And yeah, we have our goal, which is to head to the fire temple, rescue the imprisoned Gorons, and defeat the revived ancient dragon, Volvagia. But yeah, like Link the Goron said, there's this statue, which we can pull. I assume this statue is of a Goron. You see, it's like a similar shape and size sort of thing to a Goron. Would make sense. I don't know about these patterns on the wall. The only thing I can think of with these is there's a very similar pattern that appears in Dragon Roost Cavern in the Wind Waker, which is very interesting given that Dragon Roost Cavern is very likely to be the remains of Death Mountain from Ocarina of Time, just with the Gorons having left it after the Great Flood, and that's obviously the mark of the Gorons. But let's head out into Death Mountain Crater. So, this is the area we were here in the past as Child Link, and if I'm not wearing the red tunic, Navi will say, it's so hot in here, we can't stay here for long, and we get this timer counting down. But if we have the red tunic, the heat-resistant tunic, we're absolutely fine. But up there is the little area that we managed to reach as Child Link, just where Kaepora Gaebora was. I ran off that edge and there was a piece of heart in that little alcove there. But yeah, now we've reached this other area. What does this say? Alright, yeah, makes sense. To reach the other area, the deeper area of Death Mountain Crater. So this is the very top. I think it's called the caldera of the volcano. So this is the very peak. You see this kind of circular hole in the top where this pool of lava is. And if you've played a few Zelda games, you'll notice that there's two rocks right here. There's Rock A and Rock B, which is this game's iteration of Spectacle Rock, which is a kind of an ongoing Zelda tradition, I guess, going all the way back to Zelda 1, where Spectacle Rock was where level 9 was hidden. You know, Ganon's lair was inside Spectacle Rock. It reappeared in Zelda 2, of course, where you got the hammer. Zelda 3, A Link to the Past, had it up on Death Mountain. It's in all sorts of games. Obviously, it returned in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but there's also Spectacle Isle in the Wind Waker, and I could go on. It's in absolutely tons of Zelda games. And although it goes unnamed here, obviously the reason it's called Spectacle Rock is if you looked at it from a bird's eye view, from a top-down perspective, it would look like a pair of spectacles or a pair of glasses. You know, like two round things. So yeah, although it goes unnamed, this is meant to be Spectacle Rock here. And as we enter the Fire Temple, there's something very cool about this version of Spectacle Rock, which you'll see later. I'm just going to try and grab a heart. Nice. Might as well smash these, see what else there is. Arrows, rupees, and magic. Sure, why not? But you see, this bridge is broken. I don't understand why they've built everything out of wood in the Death Mountain Crater, but they have. But if we step out onto this bridge, again we see Sheik. It is something that grows over time, a true friendship. A feeling in the heart that becomes even stronger over time. The passion of friendship will soon blossom into a righteous power, and through it you will know which way to go. This song is dedicated to the power of the heart. Listen to the Bolero of Fire. One of my favourite temple songs, this one. So people who know music will, you know, they'll be annoyed at me trying to explain what a bolero is. I have no idea. I assume it's just a type of song, something about the composition. But I don't know music terms, but I do know Zelda trivia. And interestingly, Zelda 1 would have originally had a song called, a piece of classical music called Bolero by, I think it's Maurice Ravel. as the Zelda 1 title screen music. So it's a very famous piece of classical music. You'll have definitely heard it before, even if you don't know it by name. And that was going to be the title music. But just before release, they realised that they didn't... I think copyright hadn't expired, or they couldn't... Some sort of rights issue, anyway, with that piece of music, which meant Koji Kondo had to compose the title theme. I think it's in a single day, based on the overworld theme. He changed that slightly and made the title music. But that's quite cool. But anyway, we've learned the Bolero of Fire from Sheik. Link, I'll see you again. And if you thought that Deku nutting us was a little bit aggressive, this time, just to do an awesome, mysterious exit, she throws a wall of flame and then a Deku nut at us. So yeah, getting a pretty aggressive from Sheik there, but still looks very cool, so it worked. But that will of course allow us to warp back here, which is very useful because there's various things that we'll need to return here as Child Link for, such as that piece of heart up there, which we'll need to use this warp to get back here. There's also this over here. There's some extra kind of rupees and whatever, but I'm not going to bother with that because I'm just excited to get stuck in to the game's second adult dungeon, the Fire Temple. So before we go in, I just really want to quickly draw your attention to Spectacle Rock. There's two big pillars in the way here. Spectacle Rock, so there's one rock there, one rock there. So two big rock formations where if you looked down from above, they would resemble a pair of spectacles. So we turn away from them, we walk away into the Fire Temple. You get this little drop here with a ladder. Wow, okay, I didn't intend to do that, but that's cool, didn't take any damage. So I'm still facing away from Spectacle Rock, but now I have to turn back towards Spectacle Rock, and I enter the Fire Temple. So, what will happen as we explore this dungeon, and I'll point it out at the areas that really show it off best, but the Fire Temple in this, just like Ganon's lair in Zelda 1, is built into Spectacle Rock. So the Fire Temple's layout is two big kind of cylindrical chambers. So one that way, which, although it's a little bit of a TARDIS situation that Spectacle Rock didn't look that big in Death Mountain Crater, and the Fire Temple is quite large, that does seem to be the intention, that we're exploring the inside of Spectacle Rock, which is awesome. But without further ado, let's head into the game's second adult dungeon. So here we are in the Fire Temple, which was an ancient site of worship for fire spirits here at the peak of Death Mountain, but ever since has become infested with fire geese. No, it's become a prison for the Goron. Why am I doing this? I'm just gonna leave that. Has become a prison for the Gorons. Who's there? Is that you, Link? Oh, it really is Link. You've grown so big since I last saw you. I want to have a man-to-man talk with you, but now's not the time. Ganondorf is causing trouble on Death Mountain again. He has revived the evil, ancient dragon Volvagia. On top of that, he's going to feed my people to the evil dragon as a warning to other races that might resist him. If that fire-breathing dragon escapes from the mountain, all of Hyrule will become a burning wasteland. I will go on ahead to try and seal up the evil dragon. I'm concerned, though, because I don't have the legendary hammer, but I have no choice. Link, I'm asking you to do this as my sworn brother. While I'm trying to deal with the dragon, please save my people. The prisoners' cells are in the opposite direction. I'm counting on you, Link. And away Darunia goes into the boss chamber to do battle with the ancient evil dragon, Volvagia. Although we said the prisoners' cells are in the opposite direction, there is actually a prisoner right next to Darunia. Guess it's in his blind spot. It's in his peripheral vision, so he didn't spot this one imprisoned Goron. But we did, so we'll go and rescue him. So this is the kind of central mechanic of the Fire Temple, is going around and rescuing Gorons from their cells. Because each Goron, each cell that they're in, has a chest, which usually contains small keys, but there's a couple of other good stuff in these cells as well. And each Goron gives us a hint on how to progress through the dungeon. Are you releasing me? Am I free to go? I'll tell you a secret for saving me. In order to get into the room where Darunia went, You have to do something about the pillar stuck in the ceiling. Find a path that leads to a room above the ceiling right away. And away he goes. I freed Goron. And he's right. I'm not going to forget about that thing. But directly above this... so we obviously can't reach that platform. It's too far away. And in the middle of the room, there is this huge pillar of stone coming down. So we need to find a way to get to the room above that and drop that pillar of stone to let us access the room that Darunia went into. Let's grab our small key. Yeah, and then we'll head through the dungeon. This is a dungeon that is kind of... when I first played through Ocarina of Time, so like I said all the way back in the Dodongo's Cavern episode, this was one of the first games I ever played in my life. It's this and Super Mario 64. I don't know which was first, but they were both kind of so ingrained in my childhood, and you know, messing around on these games is kind of... Let's not do that. Some of my earliest memories and earliest fondest memories of my childhood. Okay, I'm messing this up. But I never got past Dodongo's Cavern when I was a kid. I found it too scary, and you know, I played Super Mario 64 more than this because it was less scary. Let's hit that and release the score. Yeah, I'll continue that in a second. Are you releasing me? Am I free to go? Here's a secret for saving me. A wall that you can destroy with the Goron's special crop will sound different than a regular wall if you hit it with your sword. So that's a classic secret. I think that goes back to A Link to the Past. I don't think Zelda 1 had that. It's been a while since I played through Zelda 1. But yeah, if we hit a wall that we can bomb, it'll sound hollow. So that's a normal sound, so we can't bomb that. I mean, we could bomb it, but it wouldn't do anything. But yeah, playing this as a child, I didn't get through Dodongo's Cavern because it was too scary. So I didn't actually play through, you know, the second half of the game till I was much older. I think maybe I was like 10 or something. When I finally actually had the courage to complete Ocarina of Time. And the Fire Temple, I don't remember loving it too much the first time I played through it. But it's one of those now that every time I do, I have more and more appreciation for it. The atmosphere is really cool, that it's this ancient place of worship for the Gorons that has been twisted now into a prison. But also just the way it flows, I think it's quite linear. There's not too much backtracking. And yeah, I've just really enjoyed this more and more every time I play it. Speaking of A Link to the Past, these obviously began in that. These are flying tiles who are just more of an annoyance than anything else. You just have to hold out your shield. But speaking of enemies, this is our first appearance of a like, which is a horrible gelatinous mass. Let's see what Navi says. An enemy that eats shields and certain clothes. Beat it quickly to get your gear back. And she's right. If I go too close and let it grab me, it takes my shield and it takes my tunic. And it kind of slowly waddles away. If I kill it, it's not too difficult to kill. It turns into a big hexagon. It returns our stuff. And a red rupee for our trouble. It's always seemed very strange to me when you can just see the Hylian shield and Goron tunic like on the floor as like physical 3D items. I didn't need those rupees anyway. I don't know, there's just something odd about that, because obviously you don't see it outside of this particular strange interaction. But yeah, let's grab our stuff again. Got the Hylian shield back. And the Goron tunic back. So I'll put these on. I don't think the Goron tunic actually matters too much when we're in the Fire Temple. I think it is only the crater. Maybe there are some bits that are too hot. But either way, I'll put it on just for the atmosphere of being in the Fire Temple. And we'll grab our first Skulltula, which, like the Forest Temple, there's 5 in this dungeon. And yeah, like this is a pretty linear dungeon, so it's not too difficult to spot all of them. So we've done that. I did, while I'm over here, want to show off a little weird thing. So there are some of these platforms that when you stand on, they'll do that. They'll shake and then disappear. There's other ones that, like this one, they're kind of propelled by flames. And there's other ones that will raise into the air when we stand up, like this one. So you have to do a little bit of platforming, whoa, to get to it. And all it does is allow you to get to this little alcove up here, where there's just 3 pots with, you know, arrows, hearts, arrows, just a little kind of replenishing pit stop station. But it's, I don't know, you have to go a little bit out of your way to get here. It's a cool little area where you can just absorb where you are, the fire temple. So this is very Dragon Roost Cavern-y, you know, this big open lava room. This is very much a cave, whereas other one, like as we ascend through the fire temple, we'll see much more man-made or perhaps Goron-made designs, like, you know, like proper walls and stuff. I'm just screwing up the platforming all throughout this. Okay, now I'm in a bad spot with all these guys. There we go, and the fire bubble's gone. Can go up here? I don't think I've ever gone up here before. I don't know why you would. Oh, maybe you can hop up here. Oh, there you go. See, I'm doing new things. Well, that was a new thing. But we're going to go to the other side of the room first. I'm gonna get my bow. I'm just going to take it slow. I'm getting too carried away and not taking enemies seriously enough. Whew, that was the last frame, I think. And we'll hop onto this. And we'll move across the room. Yeah, the lore of the Fire Temple is... You know, you might get bored of me saying this throughout this playthrough, but like the Forest Temple, is a little bit mysterious, so we don't really know too much about this. But real quick, this is what the Goron was hinting at. So if I hit a normal wall, it does that. If I hit one of these walls, see that kind of high-pitched sound? I mean, it's pretty obvious looking at this kind of doorway that's blocked up what you're meant to do. But there are other walls. There's one with a skulltula later on that is actually much better hidden. I bet you can bomb that. So the Fire Temple, the best guess for like the purpose of it is similar to the Forest and the Wind Temple. What's his hint? There are switches in this temple that you have to cut to activate, but you can also use Goron Special Crop. Goron Special Crop, of course, being bombs. And we'll grab something from this chest. Yeah, so we're told that Kaepora Gaebora at Lake Hylia told us that the Water Temple is where Zora worshipped the water spirits. Then Saria in the Sacred Forest Meadow when we were a child told us about the forest spirits. And then Darunia, you'll see later on in the Chamber of Sages, will talk to us about fire spirits. So we can assume that this, like the Water Temple and presumably the Forest Temple too, was used to worship fire spirits. It's a little bit ambiguous what they are, but like I said in a previous episode, they're kind of probably some sort of kami, which, you know, is a Japanese Shinto concept where they're kind of... it doesn't translate well to English because God is the closest term we have, but it's not really gods. It's kind of just elemental spirits sort of thing, or not even elemental, just kind of spirits of the world. So the fire, water, and forest spirits. And this place would just be something to honour the spirits of fire, or the element of fire itself. But there's also the added element of this being the house, or the home, probably not house, of Volvagia, an evil fire spirit, an evil fire-breathing dragon who Ganondorf has recently revived. And Volvagia is fascinating in that throughout Ocarina of Time, we've seen a guardian spirit of the forest, the Great Deku Tree. We've seen a guardian spirit of water, or of the river, perhaps, in Lord Jabu Jabu. But we don't see at least a benevolent fire spirit or fire guardian deity. But I don't think it's too much of a stretch to imagine that Volvagia itself is the guardian spirit of fire in this game. Although, while the other two are benevolent, Volvagia definitely isn't. And I don't know whether that's kind of just because fire is just innately a more dangerous element, you know, than water and than forest, maybe. But yeah, I think it's very much implied or suggested that Volvagia is the third in that little trio. And another kind of point we can use as evidence for that little theory is in the Wind Waker, we see descendants of the guardian spirits in Ocarina of Time. So there is, of course, So there's, of course, the Great Deku Tree in the Wind Waker is the grown-up version of the Deku Tree Sprout that we saw after the Forest Temple. There's Jaboon, who is a descendant of Lord Jabu Jabu. And there's Valu, who lives on Dragon Roost Island, and is said to be a descendant of Volvagia. So even though Volvagia is this evil, fire-breathing, Goron-eating dragon, I think he is meant to be the third in this elemental sacred trio, which is really cool, and it kind of, you know, adds another layer of depth to what's going on here, that Ganondorf has revived something which to the other races is so important, so valuable, and so holy to them. But for the Gorons, it's something that was terrible. You know, an ancient Goron hero had to go and kill his own guardian deity with this sacred hammer, which is, you know, just awesome. And obviously, Volvagia will be the boss of the Fire Temple, so it's cool that Link will have to do that. But speaking of walls that make a funny sound, this doesn't, obviously, but you can hear the scratching and scuttling of a gold skulltula. And this wall is hollow, so you can plonk a bomb down here and head in for another gold skulltula, which is our second. Nice, 58 in total. And then this room, yeah, this is very much like the Kokiri Forest rolling boulders thing. And there's 2 exits we want to go through here. I think... Whoa, let's not get crushed. So that's got a small key on it. I don't think we want to do that one first. I'm just going to make sure I'm not missing anything. Getting a little bit boxed in here. So, like with any maze, it's probably easier to pick a wall and just kind of follow it around. Okay, I did get hit. I can never remember which one to do first here. Okay, here you go. So there is this one to do first. So there's another Goron trapped here. What's your hint? Are you releasing me? Am I free to go? Tell you a secret. In this temple, there are doors that fall down when you try to open them. When one of these doors starts to fall, move, but you can bomb it to break it. Yes, there are dummy doors in the Fire Temple. What have we got here? Another small key. Very nice. And this room, in particular, we won't see anything now, but has one of the coolest shortcuts or secret areas in the Zelda series, which we'll see in a second, which is just so cool. Alright. And this one boulder's got it in for me. It's like, I don't know if anyone's played 007 First Light, but there's a Reki in later levels, and these remind me a lot of Reki. That won't make sense to you if you haven't played it, but if you have, you'll know what I'm talking about. Do we go through this one first? Yeah, we do. Okay, I've picked the right one. We're all good. Have I? No, I have. Yeah, I have. Okay, good. Because yeah, then the second, the other door that we have to use a small key for leads us into the next area. What is your secret? When you're on fire, you can put it out by swinging your sword or by rolling forward. Stop, drop, and roll. That's good. It's good to know what to do if you're on fire in a place like this. And yet another small key. So make a fine addition to my collection of small keys. So this is another one that there's a few, like Forest Temple's kind of the same, where you kind of go around on a little small key collection and then use them all in a big line. Not quite the same as, obviously the best example of that in the Zelda series for me is Key Cavern in Link's Awakening, which, you know, is called Key Cavern. It's shaped like a key, and you have to like use small keys in a big row on these blocks, which is really cool. But this room, so this again for the Nintendo 64 is just really cool. I'm not going to jump down, but if we look all the way down there, you can see the lava room with the wooden bridge in it that we were in earlier. So we've come all the way up here, and you can, if you mess it up, you can jump all the way down there, and you have to climb your way back up. But we're not going to do that. This is something that I don't like Nintendo 64 controllers for. But we're going to shoot this. So this is obviously, this is optional. This will, compass? No, I think this is dungeon map, not compass. Let me just double check. Which, yeah, so I used the bow there, obviously, to do the eye puzzle, which we got from the Forest Temple. And like I was saying about doing dungeons out of order, you can do the whole Fire Temple before the Forest Temple. You don't actually need, obviously you don't need the dungeon map, but even if you want to get the dungeon map, you can get to that room without using the bow, and I'll show you how you can do that in a second. But let's head through here. into the larger room that we were just in. We were just in that little cage in the side. And let's not fall into the lava. Let's hop on here. And as we do, we trigger a fire trap. So we have to run for our lives. Whoa, we're not getting hit by a bubble. So we're going to continue all this way before we loop back around that way. Yeah, and if we jump up here and climb up here, we could, if we didn't have the bow, you can just hop over here to get into this little area. So it's not, yeah, it's not essential that you have the bow. But heading through here will bring us to the top layer of this wrecking ball room. Wait, yeah, I need to go back. I'm just going to kill this guy. Actually, I'm going to get Navi to read it first. So this is a torch slug, which I think this is a first appearance for them. They're kind of a little bit nothingy. They're just strange little fire slugs. What have you got to say? Link, I hear Goron voices down below. Yeah, so we do have this, which we could do. I'll do this now. Why not? And then I'll come back. Yeah, because it spawns a ladder that we can climb up. So I'll do this. I'll take the damage. Why not? Save the time. And this drops us all the way down to... I don't think I pointed him out when I walked past, but we could see the other side of this guy's cage before, but we couldn't obviously get to him before that. Somewhere in this temple, you're sure to meet up with some creatures that dance as they attack. Arrows won't hurt them. Looks like you need some of the Goron special crop. That's all I have to tell you. That's a hint on how to beat this dungeon's mini-boss, the Flame Dancers, who we'll see before too long. I think we fight them twice throughout the Fire Temple as well, which is cool. But yeah, we've done that. Let's head up, and then, like I was saying about the cool secret area, let's take that area of the dungeon on. Because yeah, there's a completely optional area, and it's one of the biggest optional areas in any Zelda dungeon. And it's just really, really cool. Is that a torch slug? I don't want to get hit down the ladder. Go away. Let me up. It must have respawned when I was all the way down there. So, the optional area is... Actually, no. Before I do that, I'm just going to finish off everything in this room, otherwise I'm going to forget. So I'm going to go do this switch, because there is another Goron imprisoned on the top layer. Then I will, I promise, do this secret area that I've been talking up the whole time. I mean, a lot of you will be aware of everything I'm talking about, of course. Like, I'm well aware that my audience for, you know, a playthrough like this, kind of a very slow playthrough of Ocarina of Time, taking my time talking about everything. I'm well aware that the audience for that kind of thing, do not hit me down, Torch Slug, will be people that's played Ocarina of Time before. But I still think it's valuable to just talk through everything, because that's the point in this playthrough, is to kind of soak in the whole game. If you find a place that you can see on the map but can't reach, try playing your Ocarina. Well, that's a hint towards this big secret area. And let's grab yet another small key. Yet another small key. Very nice. Right. Are you vulnerable to the bow? You are. Good. I just do not want to get hit down onto another level. Okay, we'll walk across. I don't know why I've done this thin path. That's asking for trouble. I'm going to jump past that torch slug. And here. So, this area right by the door. You see, up here is a strange platform where Navi turns green, which means we can not pull out our bow. We can. We need to figure out what the Goron... What's the Goron lullaby? I'm forgetting. I'm blanking. So, it's, wait, no, it's do a... There you go. It's one of those that's like, you know, it's 8 notes, so sometimes I forget which one it is. It's not like the Song of Time or whatever that's like so burned into my brain. It's one that I have to think of. But yeah, we spawn our good pal Pierre or Benora. I think Pierre is this guy. Okay, let's get a little bit closer. Will that work? Yes, here we go. And we get all the way up here, turn with another hook shot. We land here, which raises us into the roof. This is just so cool, because this is like the biggest Pierre Scarecrow secret area in the game, and it feels like such a secret. You know, you vanish off up into the ceiling, and we enter out into this room. Well, I suppose I have to climb up a ladder first, but it's got 2 gold sculptures up here, and a lot of rupees. So it's a proper video game secret area, which I just love. And this is the first of 2 of these giant cylindrical chambers that I was talking about. So this is one, or I don't know whether it's left or right, one of the spectacles of Spectacle Rock. So when we exit out into this room, you'll see this is the top of the fire temple, and it's this big kind of round room, but if we look down, we can see below us is that kind of precarious thin path, and obviously all the way below that will be you can just about see it, is the wooden bridge in the lava room. So yeah, the fire temple is 2 of these giant tall cylinders. So we are inside Spectacle Rock, just like we were in Zelda 1, which is just awesome. And it's something that the game never really points out, but it's just cool. And our 60th gold sculpture. Okay, so the other thing up here, 2 gold sculptures, but there's also a little timed puzzle to grab some rupees, and I've never been particularly good at this. So when we hit this switch, we have to book it up to that chest. Okay, so the way to do this is you get a little bit here, and you use the hook shot to get there, and then we throw some rolls. Okay, we're all good. And we get the chest, which is a nice big 200 rupees. So with that and the Skull Kid, we should be pretty much near max wallet again, which is nice. So like I was saying in the last episode, it's like rupees are, you never really do too many big spends outside of, you know, if you're doing all the magic beans, you have to do a lot of spending. But yeah, there's not a whole lot in this game. So like the reward for all the gold sculptures, which is in essence infinite money, is cool, and it's like a kind of childhood wish fulfillment thing. You know, when you're a kid, you're like, oh, I wish I could have unlimited money in Ocarina of Time. Well, that was ballsy. I don't know. I really wasn't thinking about that, but I pulled it off. But it's not particularly useful, is my point. But it's still cool to have. So we're back in this room with oh yeah, the fire even this way. But we've replenished our huge stack of small keys, meaning we can progress. So we open this into yet another... Oh, I was going to say yet another Goron prison, because it's got the same textures everywhere. But yeah. Speaking of textures, obviously this is just dirt, but throughout the fire temple in this, you get these 2 symbols that are repeated. So on the left and right, pretty obvious that's fire. You know, I don't really need to do much analysis on why there's symbols of fire throughout the fire temple. There's also this face. So this is found all throughout the fire temple. There's statues with this face. There's these emblems that they're on blocks, that they're everywhere. And I guess there's kind of 3 possible answers for what that face is. The first, is that a face there? Yeah, there's one breathing there. The first, and probably the most likely, is it's some sort of stylistic interpretation of a Goron, considering this place was probably built by the Gorons. Well, it still doesn't quite line up too well with what we know of what the Gorons look like, although it could be, considering there was the statue in Darunia's room that is meant to be a Goron, but looks a little bit funny. It could... Hello. It could be a Goron. It could also be one of the fire spirits. It could be a stylized version of whatever these fire spirits are that apparently are worshipped here. Or it could also be kind of an interpretation of Volvagia. There are other ones, maybe not that one so much, but there are other ones that kind of have a little bit of a beak look to them. And Volvagia, while is, you know, a serpentine dragon, does have a beak on it. So, you know, that could also be the case. But yeah, let's head through here. Can't do that. Whoa! Awesome. Love these things. But we want to head through... I don't like... So this is one of those mazes that you can't see until you're near. But we want to head through here for the compass. Yeah, another big chest animation for that. But yeah, this is... It's one of those dungeons... while, you know, there's... to be fair, mainly one dungeon in this game that is... or 2, to be fair, that I've... Actually, let's go 3. That are really obvious, like, what their purpose is. So, Lord Chappy Jabu's belly, its purpose is being the digestive tract of a giant fish god. That's definitely, you know, we know what that's purpose is. Dodongo's Cavern, we know the explicit purpose of that is it's the mining site for the Goron's, or I suppose like the farming site for the Goron special crop. Is this a fake door? No, this is... Oh, it is a fake door, yeah, okay. I was going to say, you're right. For the Goron special crop. And the Shadow Temple we know is kind of an execution ground for the enemies of the royal family. But then the Fire Temple, Forest Temple, Water Temple, outside of this kind of ambiguous spirits, elemental spirit worship, we're not too sure what they were used for outside of that. But I think that kind of adds to their atmosphere, that they are these kind of mysterious, grand places. Obviously they're all sacred in some way to their people, but we don't quite know what for. Goron imprisoned here. Can't really do much in this room yet. There is a Song of Time block up there, which we'll be doing stuff with later. But for now, let's just continue through. So this is an inaccessible area before. This, like, over there is where we got the compass, but we couldn't head here because this area of the fire maze doesn't let us all the way through. Let's not get flamethrowered. Okay, let's... okay, and we'll hit this switch. So now you have to traverse through the fire maze quickly, and I'm pretty sure for this one we just loop around here. So that's not too bad. And we're up. We're all good. How? I don't know how you hit me there, Keese. But yeah, hopefully I'll get some hearts and whatever, because we're about to head through into the mini-boss chamber. It's a not particularly difficult one. It gives us some bombs there as a hint on what to do. But yeah, an interesting boss. Okay, immediately forgot. Let's throw a bomb at... Not at that. Let's throw a bomb at that. And it bombs a secret wall for the actual doorway. Again with this... That was a bit close. With this thing. This one's got a tongue hanging out, which is interesting. With this face. Anyway, here is the mini-boss of the Fire Temple. So can we get Navi to read it yet? Come on, Navi, what have you got? Flare Dancer. Extinguish its flaming clothes first. So, like the Goron said, the weakness of these guys is bombs. And although they look like this, well, ballet dancer made of fire, they're actually much smaller. They're only that little dark area in the middle. They're these tiny little creatures that project these big flaming bodies on them, which is quite cool. And we need to stop them with the bombs. So one of the easiest ways to do this is just to have a bomb and let it run into us, and then it does this. It turns into this little dude. So we can get a couple of hits in before he goes back in. You can kind of just have a bomb and like run into him. Okay, that didn't work in the way I wanted it to, but still. And get a couple of hits. I think there's something weird with these guys where like the Master Sword might do more damage than Big Goron's sword or something like that, but either way, he's not too difficult. I might take a few hearts just from bombing myself, but yeah, he's alright. Actually, we can probably just throw that at him. Yeah, there we go. And one more hit should do it. Yeah, wait for him to come round. Wow. Oh, and I forgot he blows up. Took some serious damage there, but there he is. He's gone. And that allows us to head up. So we were previously at the top of one cylinder of the Fire Temple, where we found those two sculptures and whatever. And now we're going to be entering the second top chamber, which is just awesome. So heading up here. Another one of these bomb puzzles where this switch is on a very short timer, so we need to set it off with a bomb. And that'll allow us to climb this. Because, yeah, in a second that will turn back on. There we go. Okay. And even when I'm like so clear, I still get anxious hearing the timer get faster. It's something psychological. Yeah, and this opens up into this area. So just like the other one, just like the secret area, it's another top chamber. But this one is where we get the dungeon's item. So this is an area where there's a... I don't know. You don't want to mess up. So you can just go up this precarious, tight path to make sure you're fine on timing. Sure, I got fire keys. Or you can go the long way. But if I fell down, it wouldn't just, you know, void out or whatever. I would fall down to the bottom of the fire temple, which would be rubbish. That'd be a huge backtrack. But yeah, regardless, we get an awesome item. So cool. We get the Megaton Hammer. So this kind of works like a bomb in some instances, but in other instances it does even more damage than a bomb. Or, not damage, but like impact. So we can hit things like these big... okay, come on. Link. I'm being serious now. Come on. Yeah, like those that we can use to knock them down. And also these big statues. There was one of these right by the entrance that was blocking off an area of the fire temple, and now we can just Megaton Hammer our way through. Okay, come on, Fire Keys. Right. You brought me to this, I'm going to hunt you down. What was Navi shouting about? And there's also these two, which I am actually going to try and pro-shot, because I remember these guys can get very, very annoying. There's one, and come on, pro-shot, engage, engage, pro-shot, engage. There we go, right, didn't even need the Z targeting. But yeah, because true, actually, we get a really cool field of view effect thing here. Just like in Dodongo's Cavern, actually, with big stairs. We get some big stairs. But yeah, we need to carry a wooden crate through this room, which, yeah, that would be very, very annoying if there were fire keys running around. Just because this is one of those switches where you need to weigh them down. Heading back through here. We've got another one of these big blocks to drop. Link actually let me jump down that one. And we drop back into the main room. But we can access this higher floor, and also this switch looks rusted and busted. We can now... I mean, we haven't encountered any of these before, but there's these switches where it's rusted, so our weight won't do anything. We need to smash it with a big hammer, which lets us enter the upper chamber of this middle room. You see there's a Song of Time block there. So I'll play my Song of Time to move that. Again, doing the... I've talked about it before, but that awesome Song of Time... That's moving to the past, one's moving to the future, but yeah, never really shown off as well as it could be. So I think you can do that, I want to say, in the before you get the Megaton Hammer. I think you can still, you know, the area of effect, I guess, of the Song of Time is big enough to move those, but there'd be no reason because there's a rusted switch up here that wouldn't do anything. What's your hint? Are you releasing me? Am I free to go? I'll tell you a secret for saving me. A door is hidden inside the statue at the entrance to this temple, but the Goron special crop won't work on it. Don't you have anything stronger? And yeah, so we've basically worked our way through most of the fire temple. What's in here? Another small key? Yeah. And now our goal is to just head back to... Let's go out the top, actually, yeah. Head back to the entrance, where the first hint we got was that we had to do something about that rock in the ceiling, that pillar, which is... This is the very top of it. This face. Don't you dare dive bomb me while I'm in a... Okay, I was in a little cutscene thing. But yeah, we can drop all the way down now, and we won't take any fall damage for some reason. Back into the room where Darunia was, which is awesome. Before I loop back round, I am just going to point out that there is like a little... Okay, that's too far. So if I head to the boss chamber... I don't even think this is... It doesn't look too far. It is too far. Awesome. That serves me right for trying to eyeball that. I was like, there's no way I need to hookshot that. You can do that with a jump. Turns out, you can't. But let's head over here. Because, yeah, this is a little kind of replenishing station, which, admittedly, I do need. I've taken quite a few hearts of damage. Oh, wait. You can't do it from here? Surely you can. I've definitely done this before. Oh, there you go. Right. Yeah. Yeah, there's a little area up here with some pots for various restockings. So there's a fairy, some bombs, another fairy. Nice, you know. I hate to admit that it's needed, but I did take some damage throughout that dungeon. So, yeah, let's head through to what the Goron was saying, where there was a statue. Did he say a statue? I think he said door hidden in a statue of the room, in the entrance room, which is this statue here, which we could have seen right at the start. Come on, Fire Keys, what are you doing? Every time, right. Are you coming back? Come on, come back. At least he gave me a heart. Right, I'm going to have to get the bow out. Sure, right, I'll get the bow. You made me do this. You brought me to this. We'll Megaton Hammer these. To reveal the very last section of the dungeon before the boss. Yeah, like I said, it's quite linear, but it does just kind of flow well. I hate Keys. Come here. There you go. These guys, the fire slugs, now, torch slugs actually, now we've got the Megaton Hammer, they get a lot easier, because you can just Megaton Hammer near them, and they'll all flip on their backs, which, yeah, makes them a lot easier to deal with. Not that they were particularly annoying before. Unlike these guys, who just phase through your sword and somehow dodge your Hylian shield. The amount of damage I've taken over the years to just random dive bombing Keys it's got to be, you know, in the hundreds of millions of hearts. Here's another of these. Oh, I haven't got my shield out. I need to... Right, okay. I need to put my sword away and get my shield out, yeah. Because when you have the big Goron sword, you can't shield, obviously, when you have the sword out. But if you don't have the sword out, you can get the shield out, which you need against these guys. Another like. I'm not going to have my stuff stolen. Oh, I'm going to miss that jump attack there. There you go. But yeah, this is the fifth gold sculpture in here. They put this one in a very nice place. It's kind of impossible to miss this one because you have to go through this room. And it's crawling right in front of you. Grab 20 rupees. And we'll head through here. So, this is our second Flare Dancer. And this one is much easier because you can just... what's it called? Megaton Hammer. He's... again, it kind of works sometimes like bombs. Sometimes just like a big hammer. But yeah, we basically just don't even really have to interact with the mechanics of this fight at all. You just do that. And then we'll hit him. Can we get another hit in before he goes round? Yeah. And we'll just do that one more time. It's cool how he changes colour. Well, she, it, they, who knows, every time. Every time they kind of get damaged and take a new form. I've never really seen the attacks of these guys, but I think they just throw out fire around the room. And obviously, blow up at the very end. Yeah, that opens that. And spawns a little chest. I can't actually remember what's in this one. It can't be another small key, 'cause at the very end of the dungeon. Is it rupees or something, or... Oh, bombs. Alright, sure. That makes sense. But yeah, let's head through... Was it this one? Yes. To the final... Goron cell. So this is the very last Goron we need to save, except the big man, Darunia himself. Am I free to go? I see Big Brother Darunia. Ask you to rescue me. Please help Big Brother. So no hint for that. Just please help Big Brother. Which is cool. I like the kind of feeling of heroism throughout the Fire Temple. Because obviously you're always the hero. You're the hero of time, you know, stopping Ganondorf, the King of Evil. But there's something a little bit more personal about the Fire Temple, where you arrive in Goron City, it's empty except for this little kid who's named after you because of your feats in the child era. Like, you know, you've left such an impression on Darunia. You've proved yourself as a hero to the point where he names his son after you. And then all of the Gorons have been captured and imprisoned. Darunia himself has gone to try and fight this dragon alone without the legendary weapon of the Gorons. So you really want to live up to the image that the Gorons and Darunia has of you. You know, Link is named after you because you're a hero, and the Fire Temple gives you the chance to kind of prove that you are this hero. So, without further ado, let's head into the chamber of the third patron deity, the third guardian deity in Ocarina of Time, Volvagia. the subterranean lava dragon, Volvagia. Kind of winds its way around the boss chamber. Cool boss design. Of course, it won't be news to most of you that with coding this boss, because it's quite a feat to get something like this to work on the Nintendo 64. The way that the kind of tail follows the head. The way they got that to work was by importing assets from Star Fox into Ocarina of Time. The R-Wing specifically. But I'm just going to quickly show off that if you want to avoid everything of Volvagia... Okay, it's going back underground. You can just run and cling onto the sides. When it does, it does an annoying attack where it bonks the ceiling and makes all these big rocks fall down. But yeah, not too difficult, this boss, but still, cool. So you need to basically play a bit of whack-a-mole. Pick the right hole that he's going to come out of and hit him with the Goron special hammer. But yeah, you can just cling onto the sides, and whenever I think it might do it now. Yeah, all these fall down and destroy the whole boss arena, but it's very much like Phantom Ganon, that there are kind of safe spots. You can just kind of chill here for this attack to end, because it is a little bit obnoxious. It's very hard to avoid this one. I'm just going to pop up now, and I'll probably take a hit, because I just want to... I want to be where Volvagia is, okay, just to make some hammer him, so I can get another spin attack, make two, no, just one him. Cool, and we'll just go back to our little hidey hole here. But yeah, they imported an R-Wing, because there's the code where, enemies like, all throughout the game, but specifically kind of like Star Wolf or whatever, would tail your R-Wing. So they wanted that code for how Volvagia's tail follows it, which is why there's still an R-Wing in the code of Ocarina of Time. You can still spawn it with cheats. It exists. You can spawn a fully functioning R-Wing enemy in this game, which is really cool. But that's it. That's the boss. That's Volvagia gone. Yeah, not too difficult as boss fights go, but really cool for the atmosphere. Fighting this resurrected ancient enemy of the Gorons, who then burns up, and only his skeleton remains. His skull left here, which then burns away to reveal the heart container, which I really like. We'll grab that. So that brings us up to, is that 14 hearts now? Awesome. I don't think there's much else to see in the boss chamber. There's, this is obviously just a cavern room rather than the one built by Gorons, except you do have these cool, Greek or Roman style columns or pillars here. Yeah, I like the boss, I like the atmosphere, but I do feel like the whack-a-mole thing kind of gives it a little bit of a, gimmicky, mini-gamey vibes to it. But still, super iconic boss. Interestingly, Volvagia did appear in a previous Zelda game. It appeared in Adventure of Link, although if you've played that, you might know it as Barber. It's still a kind of serpentine dragon enemy, but their Japanese names are the same. So Barber in Adventure of Link was a mistranslation of Volvagia. And of course went on to appear most recently in Echoes of Wisdom, which I think everyone was just so thrilled to see Volvagia return in that game. Just really, really cool. Oh yeah, I forgot we get this extra cutscene. So, Death Mountain's eruption. Wow, you get a big boom as Volvagia is defeated. But now, Death Mountain clears up, and we get that nice, peaceful ring of smoke at the top, rather than that angry, red, enraged ring that we got before. But as with the end of the Forest Temple, we find ourselves in the Chamber of Sages, because all of the game's temples, the elemental temples, are connected to the sacred realm. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate what you did. I thank you on behalf of the entire Goron race. You turned out to be a real man, just as I thought you would. By the way, I, the wild Darunia, turned out to be the Sage of Fire. Isn't that funny, brother? Well, this must be what they call destiny. Nothing has made me happier than helping you seal the evil here. Hey, brother, take this. This is a medallion that contains the power of the fire spirits and my friendship. So again, that's a mention of these elemental spirits, the fire spirits, in Ocarina of Time. Because of course, in earlier builds of the game, the medallions that you're given would have had effects. So, you know, he says this contains the power of my power and the power of the fire spirits. But they don't do anything in the final version. Like, adds his power to yours there. They don't do anything other than, you know, act as little tokens to prove that you've done the fire temple, or you know, whatever temple it is. But there are obviously elemental powers that still exist in Ocarina of Time. Like, we've got Din's fire, for example, Farore's wind, or there are, later on in the game, there's the fire arrows, ice arrows, light arrows, that sort of thing. So in earlier builds, you'd have actually used the medallions to unlock things like Din's fire or the fire arrows, which makes more sense. That's, you know, his power is therefore added to yours, or the power of these fire spirits is added to yours, which would, you know, make more sense. Don't forget, now you and I are true brothers. Yeah, if the Gorons thought we were a hero before that, I wonder what they think of us now. We've taken up the legendary ancient weapon of the Gorons, saved the Gorons and Darunia. Well, little asterisk by Darunia there. Yeah, we've rescued the Gorons and defeated the ancient revived evil, Volvagia. But now, with this Megaton hammer, well, there's a couple of things we can do here. So these big rocks that are throughout, we couldn't bomb these, we couldn't lift them. We can Megaton hammer them, which allows us to enter. I think this is just Deku Scrub Grotto, so this isn't particularly useful. Although I can actually show off, we don't need to reflect Deku Scrubs anymore. We can just go near them, and you can just Megaton hammer near them, which makes them. I've still got hit, but far easier to deal with. I think these just sell, like, you know, Deku nuts and all that, so I'll leave that. But there is actually stuff we want to do here. I want to get my hearts back up to full. No, but also we want to head through here, which we couldn't have accessed before, which is another one of the game's great fairy fountains, where, of course, we meet our favourite scantily clad magical beings. I don't know where I'm going with that. And unlock another upgrade or magical power. So, like, there's some great fairies that give us magical abilities. So this isn't one of those. You know, there's Din's fire, Farore's wind, there is love. But then there are other ones that just upgrade us by giving us magic or increasing our defense or that sort of thing. Welcome, Link. I'm the Great Fairy of Wisdom. I'm going to enhance your magic power. Receive it now. So yeah, she just doubles our magic meter. Which, you know, is useful. It's good to have, that we don't have to worry as much about running out of magic. Not that that's too much of a problem. But still, an upgrade's an upgrade. We're not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. We'll take it. Your magic meter is enhanced. Your magic power has been enhanced. Now you have twice as much magic power. When battle has made you weary, come back to see me. And off she goes. Again, so curious to see what that looks like in the remake. Yeah, that's gonna be a strange one. But let's head back, and just before we end this episode, let's head back to Goron City and just speak to a couple of Gorons, because we do have some extra stuff we can do. So up kind of near the summit of Death Mountain, there's a Skulltula or two we can grab. But before we do that, I just want to bask in our own glory and speak to a couple of Gorons now that everything's back to normal. There's this guy here. What have you got to say? Thank you, Link. Okay, yeah. Not too much to say there, but, you know, he's thanking us, so that's all good. What about the shopkeeper? Everybody has come back. It's business as usual. Well, okay, but he didn't even thank us, but I guess we can assume that the shopkeeper didn't know really what we've done, considering he's been locked up there without much business for the past little while. We don't really know how long the Gorons were in prison, but yeah, let's continue talking to them. Thank you, Link. To be fair, I think a lot of them just have standardized dialogue. Let me check this guy. Hello? Yeah, thank you, Link. Okay, so I think a lot of them, perhaps all of them, just say that. There is, on the upper level, the Goron called Link. So we'll try and talk to him, see if he's got any unique dialogue, considering he's a unique Goron, the son of Darunia. Weirdly enough, not the only Goron named Link in the Zelda series. Let me just check this guy. Hello? Yeah, you got to get around to their front ends to make them wake up. Thank you, Link. Okay. Yeah, there was also a Goron called Link in Majora's Mask, which this one's obviously named after us, but the one in Majora's Mask is even funnier because it's just kind of a coincidence. But what's Link got to say? Brother Link, everybody has come back. Dad and you destroyed the dragon together, didn't you? When I grow up, I want to be a strong man like you, Link. Oh, there you go. So he did have, well, nothing else, but he did have additional dialogue, which is cool. Kind of like I was talking about with that kind of, I guess like wish fulfillment, you know, filling the role of the hero with the fire temple is really cool. But with that done, I think we've basked in our own glory enough. Let's head out into the crater. There is also death... Yeah, I'll do it now. Because there's also Dodongo's Cavern, where there are 2 gold sculptures that we couldn't get as Child Link, that I will pick up now, because otherwise it's just going to be a faff to come back here in a later episode. It kind of makes sense with the flow of things to pick those up now. So there's the heart piece there, which we could have grabbed before. There is this, and I don't actually remember what this is. I think we could have bombed that before. I don't think that's a specific one that you need the... Maybe we even did this in the child era. I don't think that's something that you... Yeah, okay, right, yeah. It's not a Megaton Hammer specific thing. But yeah, when we head out onto Death Mountain, there is some specific things. So let's do... Where's the exit? Here it is. Let's do that. Let's head out. And we'll do a little sculpture roundup to round off this episode. So, back up in Big Goron's house. Let's just jump all the way off and take a heart of damage for it. Why not? But one of these, I can never remember which one. Is it this one? Or is it the one lower down? No, it's the one lower down. One of these, let's jump attack this one. Why not? Contains a... If I can even hit it. Oh. It's not night, that's why. Because I heard the scuttling from here, so I thought, oh, it's one that spawns in the day. But it's not. Obviously, it's one that only spawns at night, because it's like an overworld one that's out in the open, rather than one that's like stored in a crate or whatever. So, oh, okay, it was the first one I did, yeah. I got confused because of the previous scuttling sounds. Our 62nd, nice. And I believe there's another one down Death Mountain near where we threw the first bomb flower to open Dodongo's Cavern. Actually, now I'm back here with the Song of Storms, because I was here before and I couldn't show this off. So Song of Storms is not that. Oh, okay, Sun Song works. I was going to say that's not the Song of Storms, but yeah, you spawn these giant wingless fairies from this, which is fascinating. And I don't think you can bottle these when he comes back. Yeah, you can't bottle them, I don't think, unless I just missed it. But these heal your hearts and your magic, and you can only spawn them. You can only find them in those weird Navi spots, which really interesting little secret in Ocarina of Time. But let's grab our last external sculpture. Again, no, I've Sun-songed it now, so he's gone, but we can turn it back tonight. Yeah, and then we'll head into Dodongo's Cavern, because there's 2. There's the one that was in the big stair room. Let's see it spawn. There we go, nice. Yeah, there's one in the big stair room, which we couldn't get, of course. And there's also one that you need the Scarecrow's song for. I only took half a heart for that. So yeah, back in here. It always feels a little bit weird coming back here to do these sculptures, because this is, well, this is obviously a child-era dungeon, and, well, we're an adult. And this is the only child-era dungeon that you can actually access as Adult Link. It's the only one that remains open, because Great Deku Tree, of course, has kind of become even more shriveled up, and his mouth is now closed, so we can't enter inside the Deku Tree. And although we haven't been to the Zora's Fountain yet, Jabu Jabu is completely missing from the adult timeline for no reason, which is really interesting in itself. Also, they're a lot easier now we've got the Megaton Hammer. Grab that. But yeah, the reason we couldn't do this as Child Link is because Let's not mess that up. It's another Scarecrow's Song area. Have I lined it up right? Sometimes it's a little bit finicky. No, I have. So yeah, we could have obviously... We did go through these corridors as Child Link, but we didn't have the Scarecrow's Song. Yeah, it's just interesting that they put that in a child dungeon, because there's no other ones like that. Because the other one that we're going to have to do a little bit of backtracking to get to is the one at the top of the Goron stairs room. You know, those really big stairs that we bombed. No, don't go up. Okay, let me with you. Which we could obviously just go through that door and bomb them, you know, like we did in Child Era. But if you bomb them, you need the hook shot. Sorry, you need the long shot, I think, if you bomb those stairs. But we can get it with our hook shot now. We'll just need to do a little bit of backtracking and get round to it without having bombed them. But it's not the end of the world. And then we can grab them with the regular hook shot. My favourite enemies here, good old Keys. Again, probably a dumb idea, but I'm just going to ignore them and not get hit by Keys. Come on. Let's get away from them. I'd rather fight 10 Ganondorfs than 1 Keys. Back through. Oh, okay, so I actually do need to fight my way through this room. Ah, cool. Keys, nice to see you here. Come on. And I don't remember if the Megaton Hammer actually works on these guys. Let's have a look. It does. Interesting. Oh, and then, but of course I can't shield. But then, do I need to like land a hit on it? Can I damage it? Come here. You can. That's cool. All right. I didn't know you could Megaton Hammer that. Then I don't know if I actually need to fight these or if I can just climb up my good old double ladder here to open both doors. Yeah. Okay. You don't need to fight those ones. That's fine. And this brings us. This brings us back into the room with the sculpture. So there was one here, obviously, with that skull vulture. And just below me are those big stairs. I can't remember if... Maybe I didn't need to backtrack. Maybe you... Surely you can't hook shot onto that. I'm going to try that in a second. That's going to upset me if I didn't need to do that backtracking. But yeah, anyway. We can reach this area now. Meaning we can... grab... the final Skulltula of this episode. It's been a good episode for Skulltula. It's been 65. There you go. I'm going to try now, because that's going to wind me right up if that's possible. Surely not. Surely not. Okay. Thank God. But can you do that, though? Now, that is a question. Or is that might be a long shot situation. Can you do it from here? And this is all pointless now, but... I just want to know for my own pride. Okay, no, I do think I did need to backtrack. That's fine. Okay, well, with our Skulltulas gathered and Volvagia defeated, that's where I'm going to call this episode. Why not end it here in the haunting, horrible atmosphere of Dodongo's Cavern? So, thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more of these episodes, and I'll see you in the next one. Is that combat? I fully thought that was combat music. I was expecting another dive bombing Keys. Before that happens, be gone of this episode before you see me get hit by yet another Keys. But thank you all so much for watching. As always, I really do appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.